My doorbell sounds like this.
Hey, welcome to the People's Weekly Show. Well, right now it's the People's every other weekly show, it seems like. What's up, Glenn?
Welcome to the People's Bi-Weekly.
That sounds good. Yeah, I don't know. Last week sucked in so many ways. So yeah, I guess I was looking at Canada. Well, I guess Toronto, right, was ejecting houseless people from a park violently with police acting like it was Venice Beach. And then the LAPD on Venice Beach said, "Hold my beer," and pulled assault rifles out on people to evict them from their tents. We were just talking about that before the show, so I figured I'd throw that out there.
Well, like COVID's not enough. Let's criminalize poverty a little stronger this month, shall we?
Yeah. So yeah, here what they're doing is the eviction moratorium is over and they're criminalizing poverty or houselessness. So people are going to get evicted from their homes. Many of them will have no way to get any new place or nowhere to go, which means that now they're criminals, or they'll have to live that criminal lifestyle, risking arrest for trying to sleep, trying to rest, trying to have belongings like anybody else. Exciting times we're living in here.
Oh yeah, exciting.
Yeah, it's way out, man. So yeah, just before the show, we were talking about a whole bunch of things, and that's kind of what we were talking about in general. We were talking about AOC and Cori Bush doing their big performance, or in front of the Capitol building. It just seems like, y'all are the government. Why aren't you doing something if you care so much? You're just, let's get a lot of photo ops and say some good shit that will look good on, our political ads in the future. It's ridiculous, man.
Well, with the U.S. House of Representatives having 2-year terms, it is permanent campaigning. That's true. But like we were talking about before the show, yes, it does look extremely hypocritical for certain members of a political party who insist that they want good things for the people, but then that party they belong to does absolutely fuck all to achieve it. And, it's like, so what exactly is it that you're talking about? That all your friends who wear the same lapel pin as you can't be bothered to do? Yeah, it is hypocritical, but the entire system is hypocritical. They're in it. That's it. I wish they could come out and say, all these other assholes that we caucus with, some of them who have been here as a representative for longer than some of the newer representatives have even been alive. Like, think about it. There are some people in the U.S. House who have won 20 elections. What if they changed? Does anybody know who they even are outside their own fucking districts? This is a problem. But, as long as you have two parties that just have a different color, and that's not much else, especially where money's concerned.
Yeah, it's just these people make me sick, man. And that I tweeted that not that long ago that when an activist decides they want to run for political office to work with the fascist system rather than
against
it from the outside, they want to work on the inside of it. We should hold a funeral for them and the activists they used to be. I'm serious, man, because there's like 3 people right now. Probably more, but 3 I could think of. I just hit that bong. 3 I could think of, and they're all running for various political offices in different states and places. I hope they all lose, man, because they're good people and they're activists and they're making a difference. I don't want to see them become political piece of shit that you can't respect anymore. So sorry about that, but that's the way I feel.
No, history completely backs you on that without a question. Why are they choosing to neutralize themselves? Again, and the way things are, everybody comes to the same conclusion right away. It's for money. It's for personal gain. It's for comfort. Well, that's the natural, it's human nature. The average sloth human being will choose whatever's easiest and comfy.
Yeah, I don't even know why it is. I think maybe a lot of people at first might believe they're going to go in there and make all the changes and make the world a better place and they'll have the power to do it and blah, 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 but it doesn't ever work like that.
No.
If AOC ever believed what she said, immediately she started double talking and saying the total opposite of what she had said before, doing the total opposite. It's ridiculous, man. And there's so many people like that. There's no politician I respect. I don't give a fuck what you did, man. What are you doing? Now you with this fascist party. So what they do is the same thing you doing. You part of that.
Yeah.
I don't see AOC or any of these people or Bush or whoever, the squad people. I don't see them in there making a scene, getting dragged out in handcuffs because they're demanding stuff in front of cameras all the time, like that's what they're going to do. Worst, if that's what you got to do, you in there now. You in the belly of the beast. Now you better be a warrior. Your goal is to split the beast's belly open from the inside with your sword. Not to rub the beast's belly from the inside to heal his stomach. It don't work like that.
See, this is just it, like he just said. Why are they not getting in front of every camera? Why are they not interrupting people? Why do they not keep demanding what they said we had to have? They've become politicians. They've become colleagues. They're playing the game. But yet, you look at people like Taylor Greene and Caulfield and Brooks and Jim Jordan and all these fucking lunatics on the Republican side, they are getting in front of every camera. They are interrupting shit. They are being a pain in the ass. They don't have a point to it. But isn't it strange how the people that have something that actually would be nice if somebody had the guts to get it through, but yet they won't be pushy about it. And then we have people who have absolutely nothing worthwhile are super pushy. What's wrong with this fucking picture?
Because it's all the same thing, just different ways of doing it. It's all campaigning. It's all getting those photos. Like Chuck Schumer went down there and had a talking with them and got all these nice photo ops of them looking at him and, you know, conversing and these real cool expressions like, what's wrong with Chuck Schumer? Yeah, it's all nice and good, but they're not doing shit. Nothing they're doing right now is making any difference.
Yep.
Well, it is. Like I said, they're getting a lot of video footage, photo ops, and cool things for their ad campaign. You know, they're going to be out there. All this video they're taking now is going to be on their ad campaign.
Yep.
On their political ads. Don't believe me, just wait and then run this back and you'll be like, oh, dang, he was right.
Well, like I said, especially for the U.S. House, it's a 2-year term. The campaign never ends.
And Green is on the other side. You got wackadoo QAnons. That's your base, and you got to make sure they out there voting for you. So you got to be even wackier. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. People say she really believes that stuff. I don't know.
Well, it doesn't matter if she believes it or not. If you believe in any, you know, like if you believe in any sort of competent administration, it doesn't matter. She just shouldn't be there, period.
Yeah, I mean, I think she believes in Christianity and stuff like that probably, but I don't know if she believes the wackadoo stuff, but she sure brings it up. Was that her? There was some Republican, or I think it was a Republican politician. It was just in the news. I don't remember who it was. It might have been her saying something. It was like a anniversary for Medicare or something, and they were like, you know, we have Medicare. It's the greatest thing. It's the most American thing. As long as they, let's just make sure we don't get fooled into getting socialist medicines or health coverage or something. I wish I can't look it up.
Stefanik.
What?
Elise Stefanik.
Oh, is that who it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous, man.
Well, you know, every time a Republican woman says something like that, it sets the women's cause back another decade.
I hope not. I hope they're
not. You know, like these are women that supposedly are of sound mind and are involved with the leadership of the country, and they say shit like that you expect to hear at summer camp.
not at a school where there's intelligent children.
Wow.
Yeah, man. It's, you know what? But it's the same thing again. What you're dealing with is photo ops and little audio clips and stuff. Because to her people, what they hear is no socialism. Socialism's evil. Rah. They don't even get the irony and hypocrisy and stupidity in that.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's just the buzzword, socialism. And it's been that way. Communism and socialism. It's been that way through all of the civil rights movement. Race mixing. People marrying people of other races is communism and socialism. Civil rights, giving black people civil rights. Just basic human rights. That's communism and socialism. MLK was a communist and a socialist. I'm just saying that's what they've been saying forever. Those are their buzzwords, and they always have been. They just flip up what they're throwing it at. You got these same piece of shit religious nationalists throughout all of this country's history that have fought every time any group of people have demanded any kind of equality or basic human rights. The same group of knuckleheads, loser, asshole, racist, bigoted idiots, pops their little religious heads up and starts going off. Finding reasons why these people shouldn't have that. It's against God. It's against everything. It's the end of society. It's the, you know? It's bullshit. And they fit every group in there. It was the other religion, the Muslim. I mean, it's been black people, it's been immigrants, it's been Muslims, it's been Asians. It's just any group of people, they throw it in there and it works. Socialist, communist, against God, Satanist. It's just they got their little buzzwords, man, and they've always had these buzzwords. So
They
yeah,
just delay the inevitable. I mean, if an entire school of thought can't admit that everything either adapts or it disappears, then I guess they're going to disappear. You know? I mean, there ain't nothing that's never changed. There ain't nothing that's always been the same. It just doesn't work like that. That's not how linear time operates. So if you want to hug your little magic book and insist, well, fine, just get the fuck out of my way.
you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna build a COVID ark, and it's gonna be a big boat, and I'm gonna put like two of each animal, every animal on the planet on it, and then when COVID hits, we're gonna be safe. Just me and the animals.
I think there are some cruise ships that are undergoing that experiment, and they have been for about 18 months.
That's true. I didn't think about that when you said it. That's funny, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Noah's too happy at the moment. No.
No. So
The rain's over. Let us dock. Fuck you. Get out of here.
man, yeah, like we were saying before the show, we talk about so much stuff before the show. We just give it away for free over there, and then we come on the show and we got to try to think of new refreshing stuff because we've heard it all just before the show. But no, since COVID is winter is coming and COVID is getting more people are getting sick still because they refuse to get vaccinated, and you got the Delta variant and other things going on. Canada as well as the U.S. have decided it's a good time to send the kids back to school, start opening things up, you know, trying to get people back to work. I heard a whole segment on how as long as people are able to get unemployment money or stimulus checks, all that free money, nobody wants to work. And it's bad. And then, yeah, they tried to throw it out there because they don't want to work for a job with low wages. Well, that's just the way it is, because if you don't get, we can't, you know, like, then they started going into, you can't expect some new guy starting his little small company to be able to pay you, like, what did he say, $50 an hour or something? It doesn't work like that in the real world. That's not economics. And he's like, 101 in economics is man, supply and demand. And if the demand isn't high enough, how can we supply? We can't, you know, the supply is lower. You don't make as much money. You can't pay your employees as much. That's just how it works.
What an idiot.
Yeah, this is some big businessman on some right-wing Fox or something. I was like forced to
No,
listen to at work.
he's a professional bullshitter, then, is what you're saying.
Well, he's a business expert for whatever station, or you know how they have the experts that come on, quote unquote
Professional
experts.
bullshitter.
Yeah. This is the same show that was talking about gun violence in Chicago and how the murder rate's up. And do you know what they said the reasons were?
I can imagine.
They said it was it's not gun control is not the problem. The problem is culture, lack of fathers, and gangs.
So are these guys
That's not
in
racist at all.
Are these guys in 1993? Because that's exactly what the excuse was in 1993.
Yeah, that's what the excuse has always been.
Fuck.
It's never poverty, easy access to tons of guns all over the place, and just a fucked up violent society, man. God forbid a child see nudity or a titty or something, but Let them watch thousands and millions of murders on TV every day, real or fake or whatever. You know?
Well, the issue with these vulture capitalist wizards is they only recognize supply and demand from the side of ownership, from the side of capital. And I mean, that's why it's bullshit. I mean, even people like Marx understood supply and demand. It's just that he encouraged everybody not to forget that labor is an essential commodity. Even they're trying very hard, but still, to this point, nothing gets produced without labor. So
You know what?
there's where the supply and demand is.
Yeah. If you want to supply your customers with what they want so they can supply you with money, you better meet our goddamn demands, right?
Exactly.
But it never works like that.
No, labor is there to assist and enable ownership and capital, not the other way around. This is what's wrong with their view, and that's why it's bullshit, because that's just not how it is.
Yeah. But that's the thing. They want to cut everybody's money off, anything they're getting extra, and force people back, you know, out of desperation to go take those crappy jobs back.
It ain't
No
going to work like
hours.
they think. Not this time.
I
Ain't
don't know.
going
I
to
think
work.
there's always somebody that's willing to be a bitch and cross a picket line. There's always somebody that's willing to be a scum and go against, you know, get all for you and screw everybody else.
Yeah, but they're counting on the vast majority doing that this time. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
No, it ain't. So, okay. I mean, like you said, this whole thing about extending the eviction moratorium. It's not like something that was, it's not like trying to get a new nuclear arms treaty done on the weekend.
Did
It
you
ain't
hear?
that fucking
That's the
hard.
thing. That's the thing. Those liars, those filthy Democrat liars, are out there on the steps. We just found out. And everyone went on vacation but us, so we're standing with the people. Get a picture of me with the people, by the way. Yeah, you know, it's really ridiculous. You just found out? What the hell have you been doing?
Yep.
Evidently, if you just found out something that everybody in every major news outlet been talking about for months and months and months, and you just found out when everybody's packing up for vacation, sorry, you wasn't doing your job. You was out doing something else, because the most basic of basic people that just watch a little news knew that the eviction moratorium was ending in September. Pretty much everybody's been saying that.
Well, it's pretty interesting if they just
Well, no,
found out,
California was
considering.
September. The whole country was ending last week.
Well,
But certain states. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
it's pretty funny if they just found out, considering there are over 10 million households that have been watching this topic every day for weeks.
Stressed out, terrified. What's going to happen? What are
Yep.
we going to have to do? What's going to.
Yeah, all
We
those
just found out.
millions of people every day saying, what in the fuck are they waiting for? And now, oh, we didn't know. That's pretty weak, man.
Man, I'm telling you, if hopefully these Democrats, or just the people, I mean, not the Democrats, get rid of these jackasses just for being scum. It's even worse. Like, Pelosi doesn't pretend, she's just scum. She's like, look at my refrigerators, the 20,000 a piece. I'll do this in front of. She have all that plastic surgery. She looked like an old rich person, man, that's just sits up on top of the hill looking down on everybody. And that's what she is.
Every time I see Pelosi, she reminds me more of Leona Helmsley.
But then you got like Bernie Sanders still out there pretending, let me get my photo up. Let me give my little snip it in, some good stuff I can say.
Well, I think at least Sanders now accepts the reality of his situation. This is what I believe. Nobody's ever going to support me. I'm never going to be allowed to talk about it for real, but whatever. I'm just going to keep doing it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's his fucking brand.
It's just that's exactly what this squad is. They're going to be Bernie Sanders in the future. That's their future. All talk, no action, or very little action, if any.
Yeah, well, don't worry. There will be a TV movie of the week in another few years too.
The Squad.
Yep.
On ABC miniseries. Don't miss an episode.
Absolutely. No, actually, it'll probably be, if it's going to have dirty words in it, it'll be on AMC or Netflix.
Or HBO or something.
Yeah, but if it's going to be like network, it'll be on CBS.
Sorry, you got it all figured out.
Yeah. Because, in another 5 years, who knows where the fuck society will be.
Here's something. Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, did you hear Ed Buck? Ed Buck was convicted.
No, I didn't.
I believe he was convicted. Maybe he was just in his trial. I thought he was convicted to some time. I could look it up real quick. Ed Buck. I had to say it to my phone. Yeah, he's convicted in 2 deaths.
Wow.
So finally, right? For anybody who doesn't know, Ed Buck was the serial rapist and murderer. He'd inject drugs into young black men. And maybe he wasn't a rapist. Maybe he paid him. I don't know how it worked out, but regardless, he killed 2 people. And really hurt a lot of other people. So now he's finally but he's a major Democratic Party donor, so it was really hard to get him. So finally they got him and charged him, and now they've convicted him of 2 murders. Ed Buck is convicted in the deaths of 2 men he offered drugs for sex. So that's good news. But the Democrats were really protecting him for a while, just like both parties were protecting Epstein.
Yep.
These people give them a lot of money, and
Well, we'll have to see what happens to Mr. Buck. We'll see if he spends any time remanded. We'll see if he comes out alive.
So yeah, I don't know. We didn't do a show last week. Last Monday, the LAPD murdered 2 people with knives. Well, 2 people had knives and the LAPD murdered them because we're in the United States where you just unload magazine after magazine at some dude holding a knife from 30 feet away. Because our cops, for some reason, don't want to take their time and, use anything. Less lethals, tasers, shields, batons. It's a knife. One of them was a friend of my mom's son, so that really sucked. They're really going through it. I don't know if that was last week or the week before. Did we talk about that on this show before?
Nope.
Yeah, so that was it's still a big deal. I told them don't talk to the police and don't sign anything, but I don't know. It's on them. That's just, that same day, they murdered him at like 5 or 6 in the morning or 4 in the morning, maybe, whatever. And then in the middle of the day in downtown, they murdered some other dude with a knife.
So was there any crime in progress, or was the entire situation a knife?
There was a crime in progress. The thing about it was somebody with a knife, you don't have to murder them.
Oh, no doubt.
If
I
they're not an
agree. But
immediate, and even if they are an immediate threat, there's other ways to get somebody off somebody. But no, he wasn't at the time. He wasn't an immediate threat. But the cops will say I mean, look, that a week or two before they shot a dude with a knife and a lighter, and they tried to say he had a replica handgun. And you showed a picture. It's a dude holding a knife from 10, 15 feet out in front of the police. Man, you got all that body armor on. Come on, y'all. Y'all some cowards.
yep.
You could throw a rock at a dude with a knife, man. You got two cops with all this stuff on, and they have to murder somebody. And then they spend all day covering it up with the whole street blocked off.
Yeah, collecting everybody's video and
Evidence and trying to tell people what they saw.
yeah.
And I'm sure they got people to say things that are in their favor. Because you got a dude's mother who was just murdered in front of his mom. He's a 50-year-old dude or something like that. But, yeah, she's not thinking right. She's like, whatever, okay.
Well, while we're on the subject of, a common subject, the LAPD. So now, I mean, when they blew up all those fireworks,
Yeah.
when they blew up the neighborhood, now apparently there was an old man and woman in a house that could not evacuate because of their handicaps, and then when they blew off that ordinance, they were both injured in the blast, and then it took a really long time to get them evacuated from their house. And again, it was completely unnecessary because the LAPD wanted to have a backlot explosion. But those two people have died of their injuries.
Yeah, I heard two people died. I didn't know they were in the same household or whatever. That's tragic, man.
So now, how much is the taxpayers of Los Angeles open to because of this now? What the fuck? Start taking away immunity and put these idiots in jail.
Yeah, definitely. They're just insane, stupid thugs, man.
Well, I mean, that's just it. It just
go-to.
It gets more blatant all the time. Not only was this a complete miscalculation of how much ordnance was being detonated and the effects in doing so, but they just didn't care anyway. Like, this was nothing but a PR stunt. And now it has ended up killing people, and it will likely cost Los Angeles, who knows how much.
Millions
7 digits?
upon millions, yeah.
Yeah. Why? Fucking why? Who is allowed to say, yeah, sounds good, let's do it? Who is allowed to do that and they still have a job? Never mind, they're not in jail. Try and do that out in the private sector. See what happens. Unbelievable.
Yeah, man. I don't know. These cops got to be stopped somehow. There's I don't know where. Whoa, man. I need to start writing down information when I see it just for these shows. Somewhere, I believe it was on the East Coast, they've got a bill, yet another bill saying police are a protected group of people. So if you talk against them or slander them, it's hate speech. I don't know how that's going to hold up with the First Amendment.
It's not.
I don't know. You got these really right-wing judges.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, is it going to end up before the Supreme Court? I mean, is it going to take that long?
It might if somebody gets railroaded for it. They've arrested one kid for burning a racist Blue Lives Matter or Thin Blue Line flag or whatever it's called. and charge him with hate crimes. Like if he burned, I don't know. Like why can't you just burn whatever flag you want?
Yeah, but I mean, even back in the Vietnam anti-war, when the communism thing and all that was really hot, even then, the Department of Justice could not get people convicted like they were charged for burning flags. So if it couldn't happen then, I don't know if it can happen now. I mean, this is the thing about the politics of the courts in the U.S. At the end of the day, there is some stuff that it doesn't matter where the judge is politically. It's just like, no, we're not going backwards on this. Fucking forget it. And I think burning the flag could be one. Of course, there will be state courts that will think differently. I mean, like Looney Tune, Arizona, a couple other places like that. I'm sure they'd vote to change all the calendars to 1855 if they could. Fuck, but whatever.
What would happen if somebody burned a Canadian flag?
Not much.
Do they have a group of people that would jump all over them like they do here? Like, hey, you're a hater of our country, and why don't you leave if you hate it here? And they try to save the flag and all that. Or just be whatever, it's a cloth.
Well, yeah, there will be a response, but I mean, is it going to cause a violent incident when it happens? No, I doubt it. I doubt it very much.
Police wouldn't arrest them. If they
For
did
what?
it safely, I mean, yeah.
There's nothing to arrest them for. It's not a criminal act.
Yeah, well, it's not supposed to be here either, but I remember this dude lit a little flag on, like a little mini one, man, like, a little tiny one on a little stick he had in his hand, and he lit it on fire, and a nation of riot squad cops came through the crowd pushing, shoving everybody, and snatched him up, arrested him. He got out later on. It was just like, wow, all that for us. He just light a little American flag up, like, I don't know.
That's nuts, man. I mean, like you said, it's a fucking piece of cloth.
So what we got out here, I said oat like you guys by accident. That's cool. What we got out here is a roaming band of Nazis that goes to cancer clinics and attacks cancer patients. And now they're in Hollywood or somewhere, I guess, going from restaurant, attacking people at restaurants and Trader Joe's or whatever, because they don't want people wearing masks. And now they're going to start going to schools or some crap I'm hearing. They attacked Vishal Singh, a journalist out here, a really good journalist. They busted his face up really bad. And then sprayed him with mace when he was down and attacked him. I don't know, man. These people could do whatever they want. And then if you attack one of them back, guess what? The cops are all over you. They done stab people, they done mace people, they done beat people, they attack people, and the pigs stand idly by and look the other way. But anybody attacks them, they're getting railroaded by the police after they let these cats attack you.
This is exactly what happened in fascist Spain. This is exactly what happened in Nazi Germany. It's exactly what happened in places like Cambodia and in Vietnam during the war with the North Vietnamese and the Viet Cong. It was the same thing.
It's exactly what's been happening here forever too, man. They've always done this. It's just the groups have new names, You had the KKK, the NSM, the America First, whatever. Now you have the America First, whatever, the Proud Boys, the Three Percenters, the America this, America that, Europa, whatever they're called. It's just a bunch of the same racist motherfuckers with new branding, different branding.
And new financing.
New financing, probably. I don't know. I think some of them just. I don't know, man. I tend to think that some of them just have decent jobs and or have their own businesses so they can take a day off here and there and go and attack people in the streets.
Oh yeah, I
I
mean
could be
that's
wrong,
that's
but they don't seem like
no.
they're a bunch of broke, angry cats. It just seems like they're out there with a specific purpose to be racist, do harm, spread misinformation, stand up in solidarity for hatred and bigotry and stupidity, shit like that.
But that's another part of gaining traction. People who are upper middle class, who are white supremacist or blatant racist, yeah, they have a little bit of money and they want to keep it. So are they willing to make sacrifices like maybe missing a day's pay or having to travel a ways and spend some money? Yeah, they're willing to do that, but the only reason they're willing to make that sacrifice personally is because they're seeing things happen that cost money that isn't costing them. You know what I mean? Like they're setting up an actual network and there's emails and there's events and there's this and there's discounts, like a mini NRA. That's what a lot of these fucking are. I wish people would realize that. When the white supremacist upper middle class man sees an organization that's putting their money where their mouth is, that only buys more loyalty from him and more of his own money. You know,
Well,
it's the old thing. You got to spend money to make money.
I mean, you got the definite bigots and all that, but then you got the wackos that come and join them from the misinformation, the ones that are all like, oh, masks will kill you, and 40% of everyone who's been vaccinated is already dead, or Democrats are eating baby parts, or Satan, Illuminati, or pedo Hollywood, or whatever. Like save the children, while we stand behind Matt Gaetz and all these and Trump and all these pedophile people.
Yeah, save the children while there's no vaccines for any kids and nobody's doing fuck all about schools. Yeah, right.
They're not talking about save the children that way, Glenn. Don't twist things around.
Yeah, how unfortunate. Those are different children.
Yeah, there's very specific ways to save children, and that ain't it.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, so they get all the whack jobs. They got the real racists and the hardcore, bigot groups out there, the religious ones and all that. And that's just what they do, man. They're out there to get video and play victim all the time. Our country's being taken by this and that. So yeah, I don't know. It just seems.
Well, I did see, I don't know if you saw the big thread on Twitter yesterday from Chad Loader. He basically, what he did is in a series of tweets exposed what I called the right-wing gig economy. He explored a bunch of unemployed actors who all have IMDb pages and stuff like that. They haven't worked in who knows how long. And these are the people who are showing up at all these anti-mask, anti-vaccine rallies 5 days a week and putting on a show.
And they're willing to fight and attack people? I mean, for a page? I mean, is that part of the gig?
It very well could be. Who knows? How far does it go? But I mean, he makes a very compelling case. All these C-list actors who are all in their 20s and for the most part, all white, all male, and they're all showing up and causing shit at these rallies over and over and over. And like you said, because the cops don't do anything to these people, it's turned into a recurring daily role. And if they're not making any money, and some of it does involve travel, How is it being done? And who's behind it? Who is paying to create this kind of shitstorm? Who
Yeah,
the fuck, you know?
I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment on what he said. I'll look it up later on, but it just seems to me like, did he expose them like this is their page as an actor, and then this is them at a rally, or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I mean, because there might just be right wing people that are at a rally that are also happen to be trying to be actors. You know?
No, he goes beyond that.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it. That's why I'm asking. So I don't know.
No, that's a good question for people who haven't seen it.
So it just seems weird. It just seems like you're willing to go out into the streets, no director, no well, I mean, there's cameras, but they're not like, you know what I mean? No cameramen and crew and producers and no makeup. You're just out there in the streets.
It's gig
to stand behind fascists and get walloped if needed.
It's gig economy improvisation. And I imagine if this is a legitimate sub-industry, then I imagine airtime and outrageous statements that end up in print, it probably helps what you get paid, right? I mean, there's no benefit to being not crazy if this is what you're doing, you know? So, ridiculous. And
it just seems different on a set than in real life on the street. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If you're going on an acting job, you expect to be on a set. Usually there's security outside. There's, certain things. Free food.
Yeah.
A green room, places to relax, makeup, whatever you need. But, air conditioning if you're on a set. But even on location, you got a trailer, you got all this stuff. But it just, I don't know, man. It just seems really, like, how does that work? Who pays them?
Well, that's the question. Who pays them? And who the fuck like he's just started. So I mean, he's got to look into it more. Is there an agent network? Is there like is there like two agents that handle all these fucking guys turning up for these gigs? Like what's going on here?
Can we double their money and have them jump on the other side and fight their own people? Are they super mercenary like that?
It's like, we're going to give you very strange.
I know they gave you $100 for 4 hours to come out here and stab somebody. We're going to give you $200 for 2 hours just to stab the people that told you to stab us. I mean, if you're mercenary, then you're mercenary. We could, let's pay them double to get on the other side and do harm.
Well, yeah, there's no SAG bullshit, so yeah, what the fuck, eh?
Yeah, no SAG, no OSHA, no none of that.
But if
I really want to see this now, you got me like intrigued. Like this is the first I'm hearing of this.
But I mean, that was the first thing I thought when I started reading the thread. It was like, holy fuck, this is the gig economy. This is it. This is what they've created.
I'm not fully understanding it, or fully, if I do understand it, I don't really believe it's happening. It just doesn't seem, it seems like how they always be like, these people are paid by Soros. And nobody's paid by Soros. But, but I mean, if he's showing connections and drawing the line, I know Chad Loader doesn't BS around usually. I'm just interested in seeing it laid out there because it's really hard to comprehend how that works. Like, you're going to go play a Nazi for real or a Klansman for real. We're going to give you the hood, put you out in the street with a bunch of other Klansmen, and you just do what they do and attack when you attack, and we'll give you some money.
Maybe I should clear that up. I mean, most of this is anti-vax, anti-max, or mask. They're staying away from the real fascist shit. But I mean, this is where, like you said, all the crazies show up to the anti-vax and anti-mask bullshit. This is
You
where
know,
everybody else shows up, but they're the
when
ones who are turning up time after time after time with the anti-vaccine stuff.
yeah, in the video that Vishal put up about when he was attacked, there was this one dude that looked like white Jesus in a American flag suit, and he was like, stop being violent, and doing this weird performative stuff in between the violence and like some hippie stuff. Yeah, he didn't really seem like the regular right-wing person you see out there. Maybe he was one of them. I don't know. I just really want to look into this now and see what he put down there on this.
Yeah, okay. I'm just going through his timeline now. I'm starting to see
because those people are out there like doing harm to people and attacking people and stuff. But I guess maybe you could just pay people to hold a sign along to make the group look bigger. Maybe, I don't know. I want to look into it. I haven't. That intrigued me when you said that. Because if people are getting money, I'm sure, for things that are nefarious, you could probably find a way to stop it some kind of way, shut their accounts down or something.
Well, it's just, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I read about it and how these guys can't find work as actors doing anything else. And this seems to be so innocuous and so untraceable and so under the radar. And like you said, who knows who's behind it? Who knows what kind of resume they're building by doing this kind of shit? But I mean, you can go back to movies like Wag the Dog, which became famous for the fake on-location video they made about the war in Serbia. I mean, like with the green screen, the quote-unquote Serbian girl had a bag of Doritos in her arm, but yet in the video that was produced, it was a white cat. Yeah. So I mean, this shit isn't new, but again, it's one of those things that happens all over the world, and now it's happening in your own backyard, America.
And it has been. You just are able to see it better now because everybody got cameras.
And they're just not putting in the effort to hide it.
Oh yeah, that's the other part.
So,
Speaking of no effort to hide it, did Villanueva, our good friend Alex, was on our good friend Dr. Sebastian Gorka's show. I don't know what they were saying or doing because I wouldn't listen to the Nazi talking to the other Nazi. That just seems like, I'm sure, like I said before, somebody will drop a clip or something of the important parts. But yeah, if it even is out yet, I don't know.
Okay.
The sheriff, the Los Angeles sheriff, went on a known Nazi show or a known fascist show. His father was from the little pin he wore during Trump's inauguration was from his father's group. There was a fascist group that fought alongside the Nazis in World War II. And he's all proud of that. And he's got a PhD, but he wants you to call him Dr. Sebastian Gorka. What a loser.
Well, he's just another demagogue. That's all.
So,
But
go ahead.
in the chat, I posted the first tweet in that thread from Chad Loader. So anybody, either now or in the archive, it's entered in the chat for the show, so it'll be there.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Thank you. So,
It just, just like I said, it's just like, okay, well, it's still Southern California. It's still LA. It's still the media hub.
Well,
Now
see,
look
that's
at this. Now we got this brand new way of working in media with basically, false representation.
well. The thing is, yeah, but Alex Villanueva now has gone all the way. Like his audience, the people he thinks he's gonna get to vote him in, are gonna be the straight up fascists. He's depending on them now. He's went all in with them. Although I think a lot of Democrats are really cool with fascism.
Well,
They
I
just
mean,
don't want. They just don't want it to be blatant. They want it kind of
yeah,
more subdued.
yeah, but where's the dividing line on trying to get the fascist vote? Because, excuse me, your name is Villanueva, not Wilson.
Yeah,
You,
well, as long as
you know?
he's willing to do harm to his own community, fascists seem to love people of color.
Well,
Like
yeah, a
Candace
puppet's always
Owens.
good for the cause.
Look at Candace Owens. They love her.
Yeah, a puppet is always good for the cause. It's a good, yeah, what about this? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as
Yeah,
long as
that's
you're
true.
willing to bash your own people and say, give the white supremacist talking point about you, your own people, and everybody else, then we'll lift you a little bit above them. And yeah, it's a disgusting way to think, and it's a disgusting thing to do, especially if you're doing it for money. If you really believe that crap, I feel sorry for you. But to sell out everybody for some money just seems kind of shitty. But he's a
Well,
cop. I mean, he's a cop. He's a pig. He's a swine. So Villanueva was already a fascist. He's just his true colors are coming out. Like didn't you call him the LA's Arpaio or something?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
wrong.
he seemed to do fine with all the fucking whack job right wing in Arizona for long enough, so I don't know, man. It's just, I mean, I know California is very big and there's an awful lot of people, but it doesn't matter if it's a very highly populated state or if it's fucking Wyoming. It doesn't matter. This stuff is increasing everywhere, and it's increasing a hell of a lot quicker than it used to be. And it's not going to stop on its own.
You know what the problem is? California is the weather here in the winter. It's still decent and good. So having tons of people evicted is going to add to the house's population here, wherever they're evicted. Some of them will come here. And they're doing more and more to criminalize homelessness. Instead of why not just say, hey, everybody can stay somewhere? It's like not even that hard, man.
Well, I mean, anything I hear about California now, I just cannot forget what I heard Newsom say when he come up with this fucking vaccine lottery. I'll never forget him saying the state of California has like a 70 some billion
Oh,
dollar
yeah.
surplus
Yeah.
and they can't get people housed? Fuck off, man.
Because all that money, they trying to get it filtered to their peoples that will give them kickbacks and stuff and donations.
Well, why don't they do it the old fashioned way? Why don't these rich cocksuckers build a few thousand apartments?
Like, why are they always working on the roads nonstop, up and down every road? It's because somebody's getting paid for that, I think.
Well, yeah.
The
I
road's
mean,
still bumpy. They ain't fixing the right roads. They just going up and down. It's stupid, man.
yeah, there are a lot of places I've seen where it's like some highways are just permanently under construction. That's it. That's all there is to it.
That's what it
It
seems like in the last few years here.
Well, I mean, for years, people in my family, and I saw it myself, this was like in a previous century, but H1 on Oahu in Hawaii, it was never done. Like absolutely never. Forget it. Over 10 years, there's always a piece of H1 that was completely fucked up. And the entire highway H1 is like, what, 12 miles long? You know? And still, it never stopped. It never stopped. The 401 in Ontario is the same thing as in the Greater Toronto area. The 401 always has construction. It's just how it is. Never stops. Sometimes it's for
Yeah.
2 or 3 years at a time in a certain part of it.
Yeah, it's frustrating, man. I'll be driving and already you got to deal with traffic. Then there gonna be something shut down and a detour makes more traffic. Then you
Yeah.
got to get off on the streets and drive all through these little weird detour places. And that's always where the pigs want to sit around and watch because they know people don't know where the hell they at. Like, oh, they might screw up. Let's sit here and try to give tickets. Man, I had to go to court last week, man, for some ticket a year and a half ago or something, or 2 years ago. And then I get to court, and the fucking deputy in there not wearing his mask talking to some dude on his phone. And it says no cell phones and you have to wear a mask. I had to wear 2 masks because I had a bandana on, so they want me to wear an actual mask. So I'm in there, the deputy don't have a mask on. The judge comes out. First of all, they're like, oh, they didn't book a judge. Like, they booked us. We all had to be there. They're like, we didn't book a judge today. We screwed up. So the guy next door is a judge, and he's going to come over here when he's done over there. So it'll be about 45-minute wait.
Fuck.
But if you leave, you get a warrant. You know how that works, right? So you're
Yeah.
stuck
Oh,
there
yeah.
basically.
Yeah. We fucked up. You pay.
So like an hour later or something, this dude comes in with a bandana on his face. The cop put his thing back on, his mask back on. The judge comes out, pulls the bandana off his face, and I guess he's giving. Before he came out, like always, you know, you hear that the recording play. There's this recording they play talking about you'll be fined this for this and fined this for this, and if you're just fined this $300 fine for this, is just basically telling you how they're gonna extort and rob you out of more and more money for whatever infraction and thing they can do. Then
Yep.
this judge comes out and he spoke hillbilly, dude. It sounded like a fucking auction, one of those. I know what he was saying. I can catch a word here or there, and I'm thinking like, what about people out here who English isn't their main language? They can't be grasping too much of this at all. I don't know what he said, man. I just know I got to go back to court on another day. I don't even really know why or what's happening or anything.
Wow.
Dude, this dude was like, and I was like, I don't understand you, man. And I said, can you talk slower? Then he got real upset.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't trying to, I don't know what he was saying. I think people before me didn't know what he was saying, but they were just like, yes, sir, yes, sir. So, yeah, I came up with a date. I got to go back to court in a couple months or something, a month and a half or whatever.
Maybe next time you'll get a mime judge.
Hey, it'd be easier than this dude. Man, this dude, his parents were inbred. They were kinfolk of some kind, man. There's no doubt in my mind. I just think, you know, if you're gonna be a judge in the United States, I don't care if you have an accent from whatever, but you should have to speak English slow enough and let you know where people can understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
If he would have slowed down, I could have caught more of it. It sounded like, I'm serious, man. I thought I was gonna leave out of there with 2 chickens and a goat or something. I didn't know what this was. It was like an auction. And that pissed me off. Going into a court pisses me off because they're going to search me and make me take off my belt, my shoes, go through everything I have to go in a bucket. Do they do that in Canada?
We have X-ray and we have wand when you go into a courthouse here.
Yeah, we gotta go through this big thing and then take off all your stuff, anything that might have metal in it. Everybody gotta know everything in all your pockets. That just seems so terrible. And then you got these thug gang members are the ones that are in the court, so it's just sheriffs.
Yep.
I was looking at one of them, man. He had his gun dangling from his low pocket all sideways. And I was like, I hope somebody gets that and uses it on you.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Yeah, man. Google LASD gangs. That's what everybody should do.
That's right. Social clubs.
Yeah, he called them cliques. You know what gangs call little groups within their gang? Cliques. So yeah, it works out.
Yeah, they're just little cliques. Yeah, like there's 5 cliques in New York. Yeah, right. So this judge, I mean, so if this guy's Californian, where the fuck did he come from? Stockton? Pomona?
I heard him mention some college or something in his first rant. Like I'm telling you, I hear a word or two, and I'm like, I'm trying to put it in context and put it together, and he's on to whatever. He talked fast. Like that dude should have been doing auctions instead of sitting out there every day in a little black dress looking all bored with a hammer. Come on, man. He could have done better with his life.
Pays a lot better than an auctioneer.
He could have been auctioning chickens off for a living, living the dream, man, but no.
No. Being an auctioneer wouldn't be paying for the life he's got.
Man.
Motherfucker's probably a millionaire.
I don't know, he had like a pink shirt on. He looked like he could have been related to that guy with his wife with the guns on. You know what I'm talking about? In Florida when the protesters came and they stood there, they were all famous. His wife with the striped Hamburglar shirt and the gun in her hand with her finger on the trigger. And now they're running for some office or something and they're holding the guns in their hand like that's their claim to fame, that stupid pose.
Yeah, that's nothing screams political awareness like that in the U.S. Yeah, awesome.
Man. Yeah, I don't know, man. That judge is just, I just can't figure out how that works out. How does he get by? How do people nobody's pulled him aside and said, nobody can understand what the hell you're saying.
Well, he's just another one in the system. People in the system obviously don't care.
Because 3 times I said, what did you say? And then he said something else. I said, no, I'm sorry. I don't understand what you're saying. And then he said something else. And I said, can you please speak a little slower? And then he just went off. Like he was all pissed off after that. And I finally understood he said guilty or not guilty. And I'm like, for which charge? And he says both. I said, it doesn't work like that. So then I was like, the first one, not guilty. And then he started going blah, 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 blah. I couldn't even finish after that. Blah, 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 blah. And he started naming off all these dates. And he said something. I said, I don't understand. And he said it again. So I'm figuring he wants me to pick a date for court, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just picked one.
Did you win?
I haven't gone. I got to go. The whole thing was sitting there waiting to get a court date.
You picked a date and you won. You won an appearance. Yeah, you won a chance to come back.
Yeah, and I don't even know for what. Like, what's going to happen when I go back?
Well, that'll be the mime judge.
Because this thing has gone on so long because of COVID, man. They sent me a letter first, don't show up for court. Court's closed. And then it's like so many months came by, they sent me another one. your court date's canceled, court's closed. And then they were
Yep.
like, you got to come today. So I showed up. I went all the way out there. I lost a day of work. And they're like, oh, no, we're not letting anyone in today. We're just going to sign you up for another date.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And I was really upset. I'm like, so I had to drive all the way out here, miss work today, get out here by early, you know what I mean? In the morning, park, pay $8 to park to come over here to hear that I'm not coming here today.
So do you think they picked anybody up on warrants doing this?
No.
You know, because wasn't that a
giving,
thing? Wasn't that a thing a few years ago? Getting people to come in for dates, and then everybody who had fucking warrants, they just scooped them?
Well, I mean, yeah, if you have a warrant, you know when you go to court if you have it already. Like if I didn't show up to one of them, it would be a warrant.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I can remember cops doing stings where they're saying, if you come in and schedule a date, you could get an adjournment where, you know, we've got fucking the prosecutors here. We want to make deals.
Oh, I mean, well, I was right there in the court, so they could have just arrested me there if they wanted.
But yeah, that's what I mean. They do that, and then these people show up, and they have other warrants. And
yeah, I've seen them do it on television.
Depending on the stupidity of people, that's all.
Yeah, I've seen on television they'll give out things from televisions to turkeys. It'll just be people, you've won this, and you show up here, and then they have like a turkey or a television there, and it look like you're about to get it, and all these cops rush out and attack and drag you in for a warrant. And
I don't see how that's constitutional. How the fuck is that constitutional?
I don't know. When I've seen it, they used to do that stuff on like the cop shows and all that back in the day.
Ridiculous.
People be coming in to get a television. They have people there, and they're like, "Hey, are you here for the television? Yeah, congratulations." And then they go in, "Yeah, congratulations. You have a warrant. You're being arrested." And then the funny thing, quote unquote, was when somebody was like, "So I don't get the TV?" And want. That was the kind of thing, you know. Propaganda.
It sounds like something that would be on Fox.
They also had they put a truck full of like electronics or shoes in like the poorest neighborhood where nobody have anything, and they leave it unlocked, and the people go to get some free stuff, and then they come and arrest them. They have cops hiding inside the truck or whatever. Yeah, it seems like it should be entrapment. Or they put a car sitting on the street running, or with the keys in it. And they wouldn't do this in any rich neighborhoods. They do it in the poorest of the poor neighborhoods. Uh-oh, what's happening? No, don't update. Never mind. My computer's doing some weird stuff. Wants me to update.
No.
So, yeah. The whole system's screwed up, man. It has to be destroyed and rebuilt.
Okay, I want to just go back a little bit to Venice. And if anything, like, was that just warm up? How many more people are going to be thrown into the same thing if nothing happens with the eviction moratorium in California? Like, would that like just immediately multiply the problem by 2 or 3?
What, having the police attack people?
No, having everybody getting kicked out. Everybody, if the eviction moratorium expires in California, and then all the corporate landlords say, yeah, fuck you, get out. Isn't there going to, even if Villanueva empties Venice, if that happens, isn't Venice just going to fill up again?
Well, they're trying to set it up so they can arrest people, right? Like, if you try to live within so many feet from this thing, or a doorway, or a business, or a school, or a park, or they got a whole list of things. And then, from what I'm understanding, is they have hello, check. Okay, yeah, they have the way it's set up is so NIMBYs can say, oh, this park specifically or this place specifically is a problem, and then they can set it up where that place is now illegal to be at. so they can expand upon what's already there by taking a vote or something, or a council, this or that, you know. You know how that works. You got somebody with a business owner or something that wants to kick somebody some money, and then they do this for them and they do that for them. It's just legal parlor tricks in the United States here.
Yeah, that's
Legal
major
bribery.
NIMBY stuff. Yeah, a lot of that. Yeah, well, I mean, on the municipal level, that's one of the most common things for trade, shall we say. But
Yeah.
the only other thing that I don't get about down there is really, I mean, it's just like LAPD is the usual force in Venice, and yet here was the county sheriff getting all up in their shit. How
It's
does it work with
political.
Yeah, okay, but how does it work with politics? How big is the area that the LA City Council actually controls, and then who can tell them to fuck off? And like,
I
is
think
all
it's
that?
different. Different
Yeah.
cities have different councils, but LA City, yeah, they have their council too. And then I think they have like different people from different districts within it, right?
Oh, okay.
But
So
yeah,
it's kind of like,
but then like Culver City, I think has its own council, and Beverly Hills has its own council, and different cities like that have their own councils too. Santa
but yet,
Monica,
but yet they exist entirely within Los Angeles on every side of them. If it ain't water, right?
yeah,
That's weird. That's like little fucking Vaticans.
kind of, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just, and then the whole thing's LA County, right?
Yeah.
That's where the sheriffs are. Anywhere in LA County, the sheriffs can go.
Too many cops, man. Way too many cops.
Yeah, you guys weren't looking too much better, man. You didn't have the machine guns out or the assault rifles or whatever. But your
No, but
cops was
the
out there. Your cops was out there pushing people out of a park and being pretty dang brutal with some of them.
well, Toronto police have now had 3 park evictions. They've used the mounted police every time. They've used, well, the thing is, the city of Toronto has hired some private security firm on a huge contract, millions of dollars. And when they have one of these mass encampment evictions, there are more of these private security knobs that show up than actual cops. And all they do is they do the perimeter. And there's, if they had enough time to get it set up, there's a fence behind all these idiots. But that's it. That's their job, because the police create a couple entry points and that's it. So these people are, I don't know what the hell these guys are. I don't understand how a city that has a police department that is the biggest in Canada, which I think has something like 6,500 officers, why they have to spend millions of dollars to hire a private security company to do perimeter for them when they're evicting people who are doing nothing wrong except being visible. So, what people are saying up here is, do they understand what the percentage of the public is against what they're doing? That they think they have to have a perimeter around the entire park while they evict people? Or do they know that what they're doing is that asshole? And yet they're spending public money to prevent their assholery. This is like, fuck you twice.
To me, it's surprising how many people support that shit, though. At least here. I don't know about Canada. Like, a lot of people really support the brutality and you know, they don't say it like that. They be like, I think everyone should have a house, but not here. No, no, no. Somewhere else.
Somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
look at
I
that
mean,
woman. Look at that woman on the Young Turks, man. She was going off just saying horrible stuff about it's an open air drug market out there and it's unsafe and it's so dangerous and blah blah blah. And then they said, "Oh, don't listen to that snippet somebody who hates her put that out. Listen to the full video." And the full video is about gun violence, and in the middle she gives this whole thing because they're talking about drugs. It didn't make it any better. It just was like, why did she just go on this rant? But yeah, and these are supposed to be the liberals. That's, I guess, you know, wasn't that Malcolm X? Just said
well,
the white conservative at least is truthful. The white liberal is a snake
yeah.
because they
Yeah.
pretend not to be what they really are.
Or they can't even admit it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about Toronto is these 3 park evictions now. It's not like these sprung up. Like these were existing before the pandemic. And everybody who lived in those areas knew they were there. It really wasn't an issue prior. And in a place like metropolitan Toronto, if the neighborhood's not okay with it, you'd be fucking roused out of there pretty quick. So, I mean, these were established places for people with nowhere else to go. As long as, you know, they behaved and everything else, you know, it was, you know, I'm sure it wasn't kumbaya, but I mean, you know, it was cool. But that all changed during the pandemic and, you know, people losing their job, more people losing where they live, and plus just the anxiety from, because I mean, these neighborhoods, all of them in Toronto, around a lot of them, there are like brick homes that are 100 to 120 years old, and they're very squished together, but they're all worth over $1 million because, you know, they're in the city of Toronto. And the house ain't going to burn down. It's fucking brick. So, you know, a lot of these people are probably starting to feel the heat. And, you know, it's just human nature. Well, fuck. I'm not doing as well as I was 2 years ago. I'm stressed. Hey, there's all them people that have nothing again. They bother me now. You know? I mean, that's a simplification, but it ain't that far from the truth.
Yeah, I just think under these circumstances, some of these people are at risk of not having anywhere to go themselves.
Yeah?
It seems like you wouldn't want to support stuff like that for the simple fact it might affect you in the future or somebody you know. I mean, all these
Yeah.
people out there now know people. They all have family members. Some of them have their family members out there with them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just like you. They're just like me. They're just like anybody else, except a different set of circumstances. Really, really bad circumstances. In any circumstance that makes you houseless is a bad, really, really, really bad circumstance.
Yeah.
Getting laid off from your job, medical bills. Some people are actually working and just can't afford to get any place because shitty jobs, not paying people enough money to survive.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
it's crazy.
that that brings us back to this, oh, too much handouts. People don't want to work. No, you know, people, a lot more people now realize that they were giving their labor away, and they're not willing to do it anymore. That's the reality of the situation. And in a free market economy, the market adapts. Well, then fucking adapt and quit whining.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few videos of people live streaming them quitting or their managers being abusive and things like that on their job. So, I mean, yeah, people are like, let me make this public. Show people there's nothing to fear. Like, you don't have to take it. One girl was being, like, sexually harassed by this dude. And she said, I quit. Called him a creep publicly.
Well, there you go.
Has, like, all these millions of views. Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing. I mean, with this extended high stress situation that the pandemic is, yeah, there's a lot of people that are going to take advantage of it and drive people to the frenetic end of the scale. They're going to get people wound up. They're going to get them reactionary. But there is a big piece of the population as well that'll just, they will see a couple more things better than they have before, and their tolerance level will decrease. There will be more people that won't put up with bullshit anymore after this. So, could be worse.
Yeah. I hit the wrong mute button.
You got mute and double mute?
No. It was channel 1 and channel 2. There's nothing on channel 2, so I hit the mute button and no audio. So anyway, I don't know. That's pretty much all I got right now. What's going on? You think of anything we should be talking about before we end this?
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, same old thing. I just, I understand it's my point of view, but I just don't understand anybody who's not willing to get vaccinated on COVID-19. I just don't get it. If you are one of those very small number of people that for whatever medical reason can't, okay, I get it. And I'm sorry to hear that. But if you can and you're not, whatever, man. I don't get it. Not at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, Glenn. It's just you and these doctors and scientists that believe that way.
I guess, yeah. Us radicals.
Yeah. I mean, Jethro says otherwise.
Dr. Jethro?
No. Well, PhD Dr. Jethro.
Jethro Gorka.
Jethro Gorka. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't understand why people... I mean, I think some people are really in fear. I think they believe the hype because I see people putting all this information out that they're spreading through other people that are putting it out, that they're believing to be true. Like that one I said, 40% of everybody who had a vaccine is dead, and they got the papers to prove it. They're going to blow the lid off this thing. Man, do you know how many millions of people that would be dead? There would be bodies stacked up. We said this before, I think.
Well, this sounds like a mystery from Mike Lindell. It's about his speed.
But I've seen this a couple times. Dude's some Mormon chiropractor.
Okay, well, there's enough right there.
But yeah, it's just like, you got to go into your sources. You got these crazy, and there's some MD doctors that are nuts too, or taking money to say something.
Well,
or just pushing some agenda, or they're just off.
everybody should keep in mind, everybody should never forget, again, that Ben Carson was a neurosurgeon. Okay? Ben fucking Carson. So there you go. That just shows you that, theoretically, you can train somebody to do anything. Doesn't mean they have to know much else.
Okay, but the difference is Dr. Ben Carson wasn't doing it alone. Jesus was guiding his hand, white Jesus, every step of the way.
Here we go. Yeah.
So yeah, he's a special anointed one.
Sure is a dumb motherfucker.
Yeah, but maybe he's just really good at surgery, brain surgery.
That's, I don't know, man. There's just something wrong in a world where that happens.
Like, he's the best brain surgeon ever. Everyone wants him, but don't even try to talk to him beyond that. He's crazy.
It's like how I used to describe nuclear scientists. They can split an atom, but they can't tie their fucking shoes.
Well, look at that brilliant pillow making guy.
Oh, God.
He makes the greatest pillow on earth, I hear, but he's a wackadoo. He's a crackhead conspiracy theorist, for real.
This whole thing about Lindell and this Arizona fucking recount, and this is all just, it's nuts, man. It's just nuts. This is like a hardcore wrestling promotion. It's a very small niche market, but that market is willing to kill themselves for the product. That's exactly what this shit is turning into.
Yeah. Dude would have been good in wrestling. He could have been the one that beats everybody with a pillow in the end.
Yeah,
he
it could have been a good gig.
Yeah.
Well, you never know.
He went the other way. He wanted to be a fascist.
Yeah, but as long as Vince McMahon's alive, anything is possible.
Yeah. I think we just made somebody a lot more money.
Mike Lindell, the new manager of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. I'm sure one of our billions of audience members will tell somebody connected to them, or they might be one of them. But anyway, let's wrap it up, Glenn, because we got the
People's Radio United.
See, we're good. Oh, do we got to do the? We should take it out with the sponsorships.
All right.
Hang on, I'll get the music. Get ready.
Get ready. Yeah, it's not too loud for once. Right on.
Do you hear it?
I hear it.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, and Old Faithfuls, today's sponsor, Gorilla Glue 4.
Nice. I'm still with the Platinum OG, and that's the flour, the wax. I don't even know. It's just some mixed up. I don't even know what it is, man. It's good, though.
Alrighty.
I'll have to post a picture. So, yeah, thank you, Glenn. Thank you to the billions upon billions. We got like 8 billion listeners. Thank you all. And, yeah, maybe we'll be back next week. Maybe we won't. Who knows? I'm going to end this.